According to Politico, there may be a shift of global proportions underway between the US and China just 9 months into Donald Trump's presidency. We won't know for sure until Washington releases its 2025 National Defense Strategy. But first, let's go back to March 28th in the Philippines.
There was a lot of talk about shifting, a lot of talk about emphasis on the Indo-Pacific, a lot of talk about allies. What the Trump administration will do is deliver, is truly prioritize and shift this region of the world in a way that is unprecedented to match the threats of the future.
These comments promised a continuation of Joe Biden's 2022 National Defense Strategy, which identified the PRC as the US's, quote, most consequential strategic competitor for the coming decades. And here's Pete Hegseth at the Shangri-La Dialogue on May 31. Watch.
No one should doubt America's commitment to our Indo-Pacific allies and partners. We will continue to wrap our arms around our friends and find new ways to work together, not only our treaty allies here, but also our key defense partners in ASEAN and across the Indo-Pacific. We will not be pushed out of this critical region, and we will not let our allies and partners be subordinated and intimidated. China has demonstrated that it wants to fundamentally alter the region's status quo. We cannot look away, and we cannot ignore it.
In March, the Washington Post reported on a leaked U.S. Defense Department memo signed by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth that they said focuses on deterring China's seizure of Taiwan and shoring up homeland defense. Later in May, when Hegseth commissioned Elbridge Colby, Undersecretary for War Policy, to start work on the strategy, his department said, consistent with the president's intent, the NDS will prioritize defense of the U.S. homeland, including America's skies and borders, and deterring China in the Indo-Pacific. Alex, let me come to you first. So could all this be upended if we are to believe the Politico report?
Well, I take it as a, I look into these issues and trying to get the whole picture. Right. Even though that we heard the report that they want to prioritize the defending of Fortress America or focusing on the United States itself, I think capacity building, capability building is the first step. It's just, I do not believe that there is a pivot, but rather I would say it's a rebalance. We also learned that President Trump wanted to introduce the Golden Dome defensive system. So I think if we want to say make America great again, we know that if we understand the current requirement and urgency of the United States forces itself in terms of modernization, in terms of introducing new operational concept and new technology, I believe that the priority setting is understandable. Second point is that we are the friends and allies to the United States in the Indo-Pacific region. We need to understand that defending our own security is our own responsibility. So we should not be frightened or annoyed by different priorities or rebalance of the priorities in Washington or in Pentagon. Rather, we should take this opportunity to inform ourselves that this is the opportunity, this is the time that we boost up our own defense capability.
Tony, rebalancing rather than pivoting away from Indo-Pacific, from China. But what sort of message, I mean, if it was true, what sort of message does that send, for example, China?
I think Alex is right. It has to be looked upon as not mutually exclusive. People look at it as mutually exclusive. We're going to shift it away and ignore Asia Pacific. Not going to happen. I think resource allocation might be an issue, and what's the implication? I worry will China take it as, if this is real, might embolden China. Personally, I'm not sure it is real, because normally national defense strategy comes after national security strategy. So to have Hegseth move forward with NDS before NSS come out, it's highly unusual. I have a little bit of doubt what is the final product. So I hope China and our allies in the region do not read too much into it as far as the actual change. It may or may not happen.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, what do you make of the timing coming straight after China's massive PLA military parade? Was this an intentional leak, and what did it want to achieve?
I have no evidence to prove that it was an intentional move or leak. But if we consult our past experience, Trump 1.0's national security strategy rolled out in December 2017. And if we take that as a reference, we still have several months to go. And Tony is right that national defense strategy should come after that. I would assume that Pentagon, even they have completed the strategy paper, they will hold it until the national security strategy is released.
Yep.
Okay. Tony, there were people inside, 3 people who had seen early versions, spoken to Politico. Do you think that they were trying to shape the outcome, the final outcome some way?
It might be, but this type of strategy, it has to take a whole of government approach. So it gets vetted.
Because the implications would be huge. If this, I mean, it's a 180-degree about turn.
Exactly. With our Asian allies, for example, what kind of message does it send?
To the Philippines,
to the
Japan.
Philippines, right, exactly. So I'm not sure how well it's going to survive that kind of vetting if our national security team is functioning normally, because I'm not sure if it is. Like I said, right now there's no confirmation. What is actually in it. It's all rumors. The people who said they read it, they saw this. But is it in the final version? I don't know. I doubt it.
Right, right. Alex, however, there have also been no denials or rejections of the Politico report, I believe. Some of the evidence that we know that the US is continuing to work closely with Taiwan. Just recently we had the report of hundreds of Taiwanese going to northern strike in Michigan in August. And the Pentagon was very open about this time. So do you see this as conflicting?
No, I do not see that as a conflicting messaging effort. I believe that right now the United States, the more the United States is open to the bilateral mil-mil relationship, the more that the United States government wanted to send a signal not only to Taiwan domestic audience, but also to China and other regional neighbors, and proving that the United States is not pivoting away. I believe that to prioritize American, or what I used to say, Fortress America, the continental U.S. defense, is actually a prerequisite to reboost the American military might that will eventually help the Asia-Pacific allies. That's the base point. I think there are other activities. If we look at the arms sales decisions, if we look at the activities between 2 militaries, if we look at the visits, the meetings, the conferences, there is no sign that we have already deviated from the past. So by looking at what exactly happened on the ground, I do not lose my confidence or bothered by this report.